Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video, which is my review, even though it is a bit late, but still it is my review of the Haunted Europe palette by Nomad Cosmetics. This is how the outer packaging looks. Already this is kind of really super spectacular and so well done. The palette itself though, sweeties, this is just the sleeve, okay? So this is how the palette looks. And of course, most of you will have seen this. I'm going to see how, if I can show you that there is this switching picture. Kind of scary, you know? So this is the Haunted Europe palette and this is how it looks. So I'm going to give you today my opinion, my review with 4 looks. This is the last one, and then I'm going to include 3 of them in pictures with looks that I have done already in the previous days. I'm going to tell you everything about this. Also, I'm going to chat with you about something else that has actually been requested in the makeup application part. And of course, at the end, you will have swatches and the review. Okay, sweetie, if you've just found me, hi, I'm Leorah. I'm a makeup artist and stylist. I am living for colorful makeup. Today, it's a little bit more subdued, but sweetie, also with this palette, you can do colorful looks and of course, also beautiful neutral looks. And you're going to see that in the pictures that I'm going to include towards the end. Okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm living for. Of course, feel free to check out my channel and also my social media, which is linked in the description box, so you can see what I'm up to. And besides that, of course, subscribe to my channel if you like it here, because that would just absolutely be awesome. Okay, before we go into the video, I have to tell you that, of course, first of all, I'm on the Nomad Cosmetics PR list, so I received this in PR. I also do have a code which is not affiliated. You will find all my codes in the description box, just to get that out of the way. Okay, I need to tell you that I actually was supposed to be getting this like super soon before the launch, and this palette has been on the way to me for, I think it was 17 days with express shipping. That is supposed to take like 2 days or 3 days, you know? 17 days, 17. You know, so that's why I'm a bit late, but maybe I think this palette is being restocked like these days, so maybe someone will still want to see what I have to say. Anyway, that is that. Of course, I'm going to chat with you in just a second. I'm going to take you back in time to my pajama time when I'm doing my makeup and when I'm filming my makeup looks, and that is that. And of course, after that, we'll meet here for the swatches and for the reviews. So with all of that being said, I hope you enjoy, and let's jump right into the video. Okay, sweeties, here we are. Good morning for me. Yeah, anyway, sweeties, before we start, I need to show you something, because I have a shirt that you need to see because it has a message. Yeah, see this? Sorry, there's some setting powder here. Okay, so anyway, great things never came from comfort zones, you know? And I think that's really cool. Yeah, so anyway, I know this color of that shirt is not really my best color, especially when I don't have makeup on. But anyway, I just had to have this shirt. It only came in this color. Okay, I have primed my eyes, or that one at least, with the Natasha Denona eyeshadow primer. That will still be a topic later. Probably in the review part, I'm going to talk about why I'm mentioning this. Okay, I think this is how the palette looks. You know that, right? So anyway, I want to do gray, something silver gray, something like that, because I need that. Okay, I need that, and I cannot always film reviews with the greens. And I've used those already. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for this one, this one, this one, this one, something like that. Okay, I might spice it up with something still, but I'm not sure about that as of right now. So let us just go in, I think, with the dark blue, which is the shade Black Forest. Okay, so the embossment is unfortunately gone in most of the shades, because that was so pretty. I mean, yeah, it was Halloween related. You know, that is not for being pretty, but it was kind of really pretty anyway. So here you can already see that the pigmentation is picking up really well. And what I wanted to talk to you about today, or just, you know, it's not like a super big deal, I just wanted to kind of chat with you about something that I've been asked to do a lot lately, and that is to share a little bit more about my life as being Jewish and as what I'm doing, you know, how that affects my life. And now I'm not going to preach to you, I'm just going to, don't worry, sweeties, I'm just going to, switch brushes, and I'm going to go into the shade Brand Castle. Brand Castle. It's this one. Okay, this has the embossment still on because I've not used this. It has a spider web on it. Anyway, I wonder if someone actually sits there and just has these little like rubber stamps and presses stuff on it. How does it work? So cute. Anyway, so Brand Castle. It looks like it is a gray, but it kind of also, it feels like there is a blue undertone in this too. So I'm just going to place that here and see what happens. This is a very cool shade. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, I've been asked to talk a little bit about that. Like, what are we doing? What makes this kind of this religion special for me in a sense? And I want to start that out. I don't know how much I'm going to share in coming videos about this, but what I definitely immediately wanted to share when I was asked was that I want to talk to you about my Friday nights. Yeah, you know, that's what I want to do, because Friday nights for me have become incredibly beautiful, incredibly important, after I have now emerged from my baby bubble and I can actually go and attend services and just be more part of life again. Let's put it that way. There's nothing wrong with being a mom of small children, because it's a stage of life and you have to go through it if you decide to have children or if you can't have children. But it is just it can also be very, very isolating, and because I had so many in such a short time, it is not easy, and I'm very, very much enjoying the coming back part of it now, you know. So yeah, anyway, I'm just using my setting powder right now to just set this part here a little bit, which I hope will make the blending easier. I don't have a one color matte these days. I finished it and I have not gotten around to repurchasing it, but so for now it's my setting powder. It'll hopefully do the same job. Anyway, so my Friday nights. Okay, sweeties, I don't know how much you know about Judaism. Judaism is of course not that one thing. There are different levels of observance, different all kinds of things, okay? So what I'm doing is not necessarily what everybody else is doing, you know, just saying. I'm switching brushes and I'm actually going to go into the Brand Castle again with a fluffy brush, and I am, should I use, well, it's too late now. It's on the brush, so I'm going to use it, because I was for a second debating if I should go into a taupe shade. But anyway, and I'm just going to try to fluff out this Black Forest shade with the other one, obviously. Okay, so my weekly holiday is Shabbat, and that is basically from Friday night till Saturday night, and that is also why I am only like offline during that time, which is very, very hard, because a lot of cool launches are Friday evenings, you know, and people need to reward themselves for having gotten through the week, you know, and that is really, really not easy for me. But by now, thank God, I have friends who watch out for me and who take care of situations like this. Also, some of you have started to contact me on Friday and just wish me a good Shabbat or Shabbat Shalom. This is how we greet each other for Shabbat, and that is so, so sweet, you know, because I just feel like, wow, you guys, you know, you're really part of my life, and that is so, so cool. Anyway, so the thing is, when you're observant, you do not cook on those days, you do not drive on those days, you do not do all kinds of stuff. This day, Shabbat, is supposed to be for rest, for family, for prayer, for recreation, for you know, for all the good things that are not related to, I don't know, other things. You know what I mean? It's you're supposed to kind of spend time reflecting, spend time, yeah, just going for walks or like whatever, you know, just not watching TV, not being on the tablet, not doing computer games, not any of this, but just sort of, it's like a detox, a weekly detox, okay? Which is, I think, very, very important, you know. It's also very important for my children, I promise you, because they love to be on their tablets and they love to, you know, do all these things, and it's so good for them that actually they get this chance of that weekly detox. Anyway, I think you can see that this is blending super well, considering that this is like really dark shades, you know. So that is going well, I have to say. So yeah, anyway, basically what I want to share with you is probably too long for today's video because it's going so well. So Fridays, basically, to get there, to get to my Friday evening, I have to actually work quite a bit, you know, to get ready for Shabbat, because basically I have to pre-cook and prepare everything that we are going to basically eat during Shabbat from Friday evening till Saturday evening, right? So that is very stressful for me, and also for me as someone with the background of an eating disorder, it is very challenging for me to go through Fridays, because I am spending a lot of time in the kitchen and dealing with food, and you know, it is not an easy day for me. But I get the reward in the evening, because then we basically all get dressed up in our nice clothes, and then we walk as a family to the evening prayer. And that, my friend, has been a game changer ever since I started to go back now for about 4 months maybe. I have started to go back to prayers. No, it's more, but anyway, let's say for half a year, okay? But it's not like a super long time, and it has become such an essential in my week that it's actually has started to become the favorite time of the week for me. Now, I was not always religious. My Friday nights were for dating, partying, hanging out, drinking, who knows what, you know, all these. Ooh, did you see this? I did this. Yeah. So anyway, you know, those were or used to be my Friday nights, and now I'm basically going to services. But sweeties, it has been in this roller coaster of a life. It has been so beautiful for me, you know, to just have this moment of actually sitting down and breathing, you know, not having to check any messages, not having to do anything else but be in that moment and pray those prayers. Or even if sometimes, sweeties, I'm just sitting there and soaking it all in, and I'm not even working. I'm not even participating that much, but sometimes I just sit there in kind of a meditative situation, because I'm so burned out after 1 week that I cannot even form a sentence, and I'm sitting there and I just kind of let it wash over me, you know what I mean, at least for a while. And for me, this has been so good, because also the songs that does one say songs? That sounds so profane, but the songs that we sing on those occasions. Let me just swatch two shadows, because I need to make a decision what I'm gonna do. Okay, so this is the shade, what? Big Bad Wolf. And this is the shade, the Catacombs. Okay, so this one here, the Catacombs, seems to be a little bit more metallic. So I think that's the one I'm gonna use. I think the Wolf is a little bit more cool toned, and the other one has a hint of a taupey undertone with it. So I think I'm gonna go for the Catacombs, just because it is a little bit more sparkly maybe. Okay, so anyway, just cleaning my hands, and let's go in with a packing brush in the Catacombs. Let's go into the Catacombs with a packing brush. Okay, so let's just put this one on. Now this is gonna be, I don't know if that look is very smart, because this is going to end up looking like one big thing of the same thing, you know? That is not necessarily what I had in mind. And that is also going to come up in the review. Okay, so anyway, and then we basically sit there and spend about 1.5 hours in the synagogue. And there is, it is a very beautiful synagogue with a lot of young families. There is dancing, there is like, it's so cool, you know. You really feel simcha, that is the Hebrew word for joy. It's like such joy, you know. And I should also mention that we are modern Orthodox, so we are not like ultra Orthodox or anything, obviously, because I wouldn't be sitting here and doing YouTube and I don't know, doing photo shoots and stuff if I were ultra Orthodox. But we are modern Orthodox, so we keep all the laws and everything, but we are trying to kind of also be modern about it. You know what I mean? So I want to do something. I want to add something that makes this a little bit more special. What would that be? Maybe maybe I can use this one here. That's the purpley shade, which is Krampus. I never knew what that means. That is a name that keeps coming up together with these kinds of releases, and I still don't know what it means. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to just put this here, which kind of, I think it adds a nice touch to a mostly like gray and silver kind of a look. I think this could be nice. It's not overwhelming. It doesn't change too much of the look in the balance and in the character, but it just adds a little bit of something, you know. So anyway, we sit there. I usually sit with my children in the women's section, and my husband is with, like, I sit with the girls and he sits with the boys. We're praying separately, but we're in the same room, and that is what it is, and this is how we love it. Yeah, and then we basically go back home and start the evening, which is dinner, you know, a big festive dinner. But before we do that, I go to the kitchen, check that everything is, you know, ready for serving and whatever. And my husband blesses the children, you know, according to the order of birth. He goes and blesses the children with the, what's it called in English? Aaronitic blessing? I don't know, something like that. Let me just also put that on with the finger. Yeah, so that's what he's doing, and then we sing a couple of songs, like traditional songs that we do before we do a blessing over the wine and over the bread. And then after having eaten and drunk wine and bread, we actually then start the dinner, you know. And then after eating dinner, we have the tradition that we actually go to my husband's parents, who live very close by, and have dessert there. So the whole family meets there for dessert, which is kind of really cool. Sometimes it is also not, because sometimes you just feel like, wow, now I just want to be able to go, like, move from the table to the couch and just hang out there and not pack up and like get everybody ready to go out again. But you know, you kind of also need to honor the older generation, and that is, it's very important, you know, to kind of also enjoy the time that you still have left together, you know. Yeah, so anyway, here I still have to do some more blending, but overall I think this is how the look is gonna be. I want to put a little bit more of the dark blue in the outer corner. Yeah, so once we're done with having dessert basically at my in-laws' house, we go back home, which takes like half a minute to walk home because we're living in the same street. And basically then the kids go to bed and we go to bed, you know, and it gets calm in the house very fast, because there is this kind of peace that descends on our house and basically also on our whole city on that day. Now, when you live in a different city in Israel, it might be different, but Jerusalem is kind of the holy city, right? And a lot of religious people live here, not exclusively, but a lot of religious or observant people live here, and it shows, because traffic is much less, and like the kids can actually play on the streets where they usually cannot play because there's traffic, right? And on Shabbat there is not a lot of traffic, at least where we live, and stuff like this. So you feel it, you feel the craziness till right before Shabbat starts, because everybody is under pressure to get everything ready. But then you also feel how the peace descends it's like a cloud that is coming down in a good way, you know, and it sort of settles over the city, and it really affects me in such a good way because I am constantly under pressure, making it also for myself like really intolerable sometimes, the pressure that I'm making for myself. And in those moments when I can actually just be, isn't that what we all want? To just be for one moment, you know, and this is that moment in my week when I can just be, and I love it. So yeah, now I'm going to finish this look off camera. Of course, I'm going to show you the other 3 looks that I have done with this palette in just a second in pictures. You will also see the swatches, and in just a second right after that, I'm going to meet you here for the review part, so stay tuned. Okay, sweeties, here we are with the finished look and the finished styling, of course, and with the swatches. Wait, here they are. As you might know, if you have seen my recent makeup reviews, you know that I've started to swatch them, do the swatches at the inside of my arm because of reasons, Instagram reasons, okay? Which is really, really helpful. And I have to say, it is so, so cool because now I'm kind of really rocking it, because now I can actually see much easier what I'm doing and I'm getting it straight, and it's so much fun. So much more fun now. Anyway, so that is that. You've seen the swatches. Now let us zoom you in so you can take a closer look. Of course, as always, I'm going to tell you in a second how I finished the look while I was off camera under my eye. And I also want to draw your attention to my lips, because also that is a shade from the palette, which I mixed with Doraline from England and created this beautiful, beautiful lipstick, you know? So yeah, anyway, this is what it looks like. Now let's zoom you out. Maybe you can also see, of course, after you've seen the other looks that I've done already with the palette, that there is a beautiful, nice variety where you can actually mix and match and create super, super cool looks. Also, and that is, I didn't even go there really to be monochromatic, because there's also super, super nice options to just go monochromatic in the looks that you're doing, because you do have in a lot of color schemes, you do have a nice variety. For example, in the orange color scheme here, you can go monochromatic. You can go with the grays, for example, monochromatic. You can go with the greens, monochromatic. Also with the cold neutrals, you know, you can do that. And of course, you don't have to, you know, which is really, really amazing. Okay, so now let us talk about, maybe I should read this. Should I read this? I'm going to make a fool of myself now, because me and English reading, loud reading, you know, in my head, everything is fine. It's just, okay, so this is what it says here on the back as an explanation for the palette, okay? So, picturesque European landscapes dotted with Gothic castles and mysterious forests beckon you to experience the dark fairy tales and medieval myths swirling across the continent. Over the centuries, enthralling and ghoulish stories were passed down from villager to villager, creating the legendary fables that both harrow and entertain us still today. The spooky fortresses haunted by unsettled spirits and eerie backwoods, full of fantastical creatures, invite you to be on the hunt to discover Europe's most spectacular scary tales. Wow, that went well. Okay, so that is basically the explanation of the palette, what they have seen in the palette. As you probably know, and if you don't know, then I'm telling you, Nomad Cosmetics is a brand that basically goes to places with their makeup. But the owner, Auntie and Felicia, they actually have gone to the places where they're creating the palettes of. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, it's destination makeup. You know, it's destination makeup. And in this case here, they have created, of course, their fall release. You do have 18 shades here in this palette. You do have mattes and shimmers. There's no pressed glitters. You do have cardboard packaging. You do have a huge mirror. You do have shade names that, of course, are on theme with the whole topic of the palette. And you do have also shifty shades. You know, you do have I hope you maybe saw it also when I showed you these swatches close up, that they are sparkly, and there's also a shift in certain shades, especially for example here in these three. There might be more, I'm not 100% sure. Some of them are more metallic, like these here, but these here feel more like shifty shades. Anyway, so that was far away. I hope you can make some sense out of what I'm saying. Anyway, so now I need to also tell you a few other things, okay? Because I had some trouble actually with my first two looks, because I tried, and I've actually started to do that I'm trying the palettes that I'm trying on different primers. Now, the first primer that I used in my first look was the primer from Pear Cosmetics, which is lately now one of my most favorite primers. Did not work so well with the shimmers because they creased like crazy, you know? Second look, I thought to myself, okay, so let's take the Sigma primer. Same thing happened. You know, now then I spoke with Nikki, my friend Nikki Raven here on YouTube. She also, of course, got this palette in PR. She's also on the PR list, and I was like, Nikki, what's the deal here? You know, what is happening? Am I stupid? And she was very kind, and she said no. Anyway, she did not experience any creasing or any problem. She said she used the Natasha Denona primer. So I happen to have that too. So for the last two looks, the neutral one and today's look, I used this primer and it worked perfectly. Now, it is a very, very personal thing, you know, and sometimes it's just, I don't know, the weather or your skin condition or whatever. So I don't want to say that there is a problem with the formula, because for me it seems to be just a matter of the primer underneath, you know, because with this one now, I tried it for two looks and it was absolutely fine. What did I do to save the other two looks? Sweeties, is super easy. All you need, if you do not want to every couple of minutes dab out your creased eyeshadow, all you need to do is have Duraline from Inglot or something similar to that. Mix that same shade, dab it over, and it will be solid. No problem. Or what you can also do, and again, I'm using Duraline for like everything, you know, also for my lips today, and you can use this as an eyeshadow primer. If you're having problems with a certain palette or a certain something, just take a drop, dab it on the area and apply the eyeshadow like this. You know, so it's very, very easy. It's not always the makeup. Sometimes it's circumstances, sometimes it's the primer, sometimes it's the mood, who knows, maybe the moon was in the wrong place. So anyway, but I have to say that now with that primer it worked so fine, and I really, really enjoyed it. Now let's also look at the palette again, because I was actually I was thinking, what would I have done differently? You know, while I was creating the looks, of course, I'm immersing myself into the palette, and also like emotionally, I'm going all the way in if I have the time. At this time, of course, I took my time creating 4 looks. So I think I would have added something. I think I definitely would have added a black in this palette, because it is kind of the spooky theme, the dark theme, the mysterious, haunted, you know, all of that. It kind of screams for a black. I would have definitely added a black. And what I also was thinking, what would have been really cool is to have like a blood red matte, you know, a black matte and a blood red, like a dark blood red or like red wine red kind of a thing. That I think would have made the palette even more beautiful. Now this is beautiful, sweeties, and I do believe it is a very, very good quality. Now, especially after me having tried the different primers, I think it works super, super well. I have absolutely no problem with it. I heard from Nikki that there has been a formula change within the mattes. I'm not sure now if it was also in the shimmers, but definitely within the mattes, she told me. I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it. For me, it worked just as fine as always. No problems. Pigmentation was absolutely there. They were buildable, blendable, everything fine. And also the performance of the shimmers was fine on the right primer for me. But please feel free to try out whatever works for you, okay? Just if you have a primer that usually works for you and maybe this time it doesn't, don't give up. You know, it does not mean that there is anything wrong with this. It might just be that the combination isn't working out in this case and you just need a different primer. Or, like I said, use Inglot. You know, this, you know, I should have a code with Inglot, seriously, because I'm promoting this like crazy, because it's really, really good. It is that good. Okay, I used this shade here for my lips today. That is the shade, let me see, Bloody Mary. Okay, that is the shade that I have on my lips. It's beautiful. you know, and just the way it is, I mixed it with the Dora line and put it on, and that is what it is, and it stays, you know. Everything you do with Dora line just stays in place, so that is really, really cool. Also, I need to tell you how I finished the look. I actually decided to have this light green shade here in my inner corner, and then under my eye, wait, on my waterline I do have a red, okay, because I kind of wanted to go there, okay. And then I actually put a mixture of this shade and this shade, the Bloody Mary and the Krampus shade, under my eyes, and that is basically how I finished the look, and that is it, you know. And as always, I'm very, very happy with the outcome. It is, of course, for me a very, very dark look, but I feel like it is kind of really cool to have a palette like this that also has the theme, you know. It kind of really, really fits. Okay, so anyway, I think this is a super cool palette. I, as you know, support Nomad Cosmetics because it is a beautiful brand with beautiful people behind it. Absolutely supportive of the small creators that they're working with, and you know, so it is absolutely a brand where I feel if you like the formula, you can really rock those palettes. I also know people who don't prefer that formula, which is also fine. It's all a matter of course, of personal preference and all of that. For me, it works super, super well. Now, in this case, I told you I would have maybe put a little bit more drama in the palette because that is me, but that's just me. So never mind tiny little Leorah, who is never in a haunted castle. I'm always on some kind of happy cloud, you know. So yeah, anyway, that is that, sweeties. Join me here on my happy cloud if you're new here, and because this my channel here is definitely where I see myself just being completely happy, you know. So yeah, if you want to be with me on that journey, then of course please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my uploads. Feel free to also check out my description box down below with all my discount codes, with everything that I'm wearing on my face today, and of course with all my links to my social media. And leave me your comments in the comment section. Do you have the palette? Are you planning to get it? Because I know that this one sold super, super well. People went crazy over this palette, and rightfully so, because I think it's a spectacular palette for the season, you know. I think it's really, really well done. Okay, sweeties, this is it from me for today. I hope you did enjoy, and of course I'm going to see you here super soon for my next video, and up until then, definitely go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.